This is the story of heartache and avarice, sonder and dignity, valor and vagrancy. This is the story of a man who had everything taken from him. The story of a man whose hate for the world knew no bound. The story of a man who was able to obtain everything he ever dreamed of, while losing everything he ever needed. In my humble opinion, this is the story of the greatest deuteragonist to ever be written. This is the story of Delita Heiral. Delita was born into the peasant family of Heiral. His mother and father were both farmers and avid churchgoers, and Delita followed suit. He was a relatively quiet kid, but he did his duties on his family farm and eventually helped care for his younger sister, Delita Heiral. Delita and Delita became very close, and grew even closer when their older parents came down with the brutal disease known in the world of Avarice as Black Death. Fretting for his dying parents, Delita ran to his local lord Barbaneth of the Beolve family. Barbaneth, a caring and benevolent leader, took Delita and Delita under his wing. He raised Delita and Delita in the Beolve mansion, Egros Castle, along with his kids Deisdarg, Zalbeg, Ramza, and Elma. Delita and Ramza, being similar in age, became extremely close friends. Like their older brothers, Elma and Delita also became very close. Despite being commoners, Delita and Delita took to their new noble home, and were treated like brothers and sisters to the Beolve children. Avarice was broken into 6 different districts. Gallion, ruled by Duke Larg of the Northern Sky, Zeltenia, ruled by Duke Goltana of the Southern Sky, Limbury, ruled by Marquis Elmdor, Lazalia, ruled by the Avarice royal family, Fovaham, ruled by Grand Duke Barrington, and finally Lionel, a more religious territory controlled by Cardinal Delacroix. During Ramza and Delita's younger years, Avarice was suffering a war with the neighboring state of Ordalia. This was titled the 50 Years' War, and it reaped many casualties among the peasant class. To make matters worse, the length of the war left the nobility in Avarice low on funds, making them unable to pay the peasants and serfs of the land their promised wartime pay. Despite the war coming to an end, unrest only grew in Avarice. As the trust between the serfs and nobility began to crumble, large groups of peasants started to revolt all across Avarice. In the Gallian region, the region ruled by Duke Larg, and where the noble family Beolve ruled under him, a group called the Corpse Brigade emerged. Peasants gone rogues and brigands, they held the goal of toppling the local nobility. Barbaneth falls ill with Black Death and puts Deisdarg, the eldest Beolve, in charge of the family. He also appoints Zalbeg, the second eldest Beolve son, to be the general of the Northern Sky Knights. The Northern Sky Knights, the knights serving under Duke Larg, are tasked with ridding Gallion of the Corpse Brigade, but their numbers are too few from the 50 Years' War. Ramza and Delita, young men of the House of Beolve, are sent to a royal military academy to become cadets for the Northern Sky, and it is at this academy where our story begins.
Another wain was struck last night on its way to Egros.
The Corpse Brigade again?
I wonder where all this leads. Delita, what do you make of this?
I'm not sure. I have my guesses.
I'm listening.
I think Duke Larg is coming to Garland.
Duke Larg? Why?
Not just the Duke, the Marquis Elmdor de Limbury too.
That's the first I've heard of it. This is not a sound of state to visit.
All of Avarice is in turmoil. The Order is supposed to be keeping things under control, but the fact is, they number too few.
And they mean to bolster their numbers with us?
Alright, everybody, form up. The Order of the Northern Sky is an assignment for its Knights Apprentice. As I'm sure you're already aware, the number of brigands roaming Galleon is on the rise. Among them, the Corpse Brigade, a seditious lot with a grudge against the Crown. Rogues such as they must be dealt with. The Order has been commanded to undertake an operation to eliminate the Brigade, an operation of a grand scale. We will not be acting alone. The Order will be joined by, among others, His Excellency Duke Larg's Royal Guard, stationed at Igros. This will leave Igros Castle undermanned. Your task, young cadets, will be to proceed there and support us from the rear by bolstering its defenses.
Delita and Ramza make way for Igros Castle as they were told. Along the way, they run into a group of Corpse Brigade soldiers harassing a young noble. Delita and Ramza, as young cadets, fend off the Corpse Brigade, rescuing the young noble.
My name is Argath, a knight in His Excellency, the Marquis Elmdor de Limberry's household.
A knight, you say?
Well, truth be told, I am a knight apprentice. As are you, if I'm not far mistaken.
A fellow knight in training, then? I am Ramza Beol, and this is Delita Heiral, my trusted friend.
Beolv? You're not the Beolvs of the Order of the Northern Sky, are you? What fantastic luck! A blessing in the midst of disaster!
What?
The Order can help me rescue the Marquis, it must!
The Marquis is held captive?
They took him hostage, yes, but he still lives. We must act quickly if he is to remain so. Should he be killed, I will lose everything. You simply must help me, please, I beg you.
Calm yourself. Who's to say the Marquis is to be killed anyway? The Corpse Brigade would not take a man alive, save there were value in keeping him so. Of that you can be sure.
There's little the three of us can do to help in any case. If the Marquis was taken hostage, Igros will be in an uproar. You can be sure of that, too.
Then, before all else, we report to Igros. Agreed?
Agreed. We'll start there.
The cadets all head to Igros. Upon arrival, Ramza and Argath talk with Ramza's older brother, Dicedarg. Dicedarg promises Argath that he will send a search party out looking for the Marquis of Limberry, and eventually orders the three cadets to stay stationed at Igros. Argath isn't a fan of staying put with his master in danger, causing the three cadets to go on a mission hinted at by Ramza's older brother, Zalbag.
My own house was once respected as highly as House Beolv, you know. At least until my grandfather was captured during the war. He turned traitor, thinking to buy his freedom with the lives of his friends. But his freedom scarce outlived his honor. He was not a dozen paces out their gate when the dagger found his back, killed by some common squire, no more a knight than I. One of the men he betrayed later escaped and spread the word of his misdeeds. My lord father would have none of it, of course. But he was the only one. Our bannermen deserted us, our reputation ruined. I suppose I had best remember my place. Your lord brother has no reason to lend ear to pleas from the likes of me.
Delita!
Tietra! Alma! Zalbag!
Ramza, you've come home.
It's been some time, hasn't it, Zalbag?
I heard about Garland. They say you made short work of those brigands. Now you're truly the right to call yourself a Beol. Father would be proud.
Thank you, Lord Brother.
Ha! You certainly haven't changed. Gods forbid you show a bit of cheer on being praised. And you, Delita, do not think word of your deeds escapes our ears. Your sister's been so full of pride I quite feared she might burst.
Worry not, my seams have held. I'm glad to see you looking so well, Delita.
And I you. Have you settled in at school?
Yes, the others have all been quite kind to me.
Would that we could speak at greater leisure, but there are duties that require my assistance. Rogues do not catch themselves.
I understand. Good luck.
We received a note of ransom from the Corpse Brigade.
What?
Something about it sits unwell with me. There are anarchists, to be sure, bent on bringing down the aristocracy. But they fancy themselves righteous and prey only on the nobility and those in our employ. Would such as they truly kidnap the Marquis for want of coin?
Why wouldn't they? They're not but common footpads.
One of the men I planted among them has not returned. I worry he may be caught up in something serious, but there are those who do not think some mere spy worth a search party's efforts.
Where was he last known to be?
A merchant city named Dorder in Eastern Gallion. Guarding a castle grows dreadfully dull. Wouldn't you agree?
Forgive us, Tietra. It seems you must be leaving sooner than we had planned.
Don't worry about me. Just take care of yourself.
I will. Mind your studies. I'll be back before you've even noticed I'm gone. Argath, let's be on our way.
Tietra puts on a brave face, but the truth is not as honeyed as her words.
What do you mean?
She has a hard time of it at school. The others tease her for being a lowborn. Forgive me, I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sure you have worries enough of your own. Tietra will be alright. I'm here to look after her.
Then there is naught to worry about. But mind your own limits. You can't be responsible for everything.
Says the brother who never fails to do anything and all that is expected of him. Don't lose sight of yourself, Ramza. You needn't let your life be ruined by the fact you were born a Beal.
Now you're starting to sound like Mother.
The cadets, Delita, Ramza, and Argath go to the merchant city to find the lost spy. Once there, they are greeted by the members of the Corpse Brigade. A great fight breaks out, but the cadets fend off the rogues and brigands. They end up capturing one of the soldiers. Argath brings him into a shed along with Delita and Ramza and attempts to interrogate him for the location of his master, the Marquis of Limberry.
We know you're the brigade. There's no use in hiding it. Out with it! What have you done with the Marquis? Where are you holding him? You were with your commander, Wygraf, when we came upon you. Where has he gone? Mayhap a beating would loosen your tongue.
Ugh. Enough, Argath!
Listen well. A great host, with the order at its van, prepares a sweeping campaign that will bring to book your Turncloak Brigade. You will die. You will be hunted down to the last and slaughtered like the swine you are, for such is brigandry's reward. But you, pig, are a lucky one. Tell us what we wish to know, and you may yet keep your bacon. So, where is Wygraf?
How the bloody hell should I know?
I will not bear your ribald tongue, rogue. Learn to guard it if you not have it cut from your throat.
I am no rogue.
Tell that to the men you've robbed.
You nobles are all the same. You think every man born outside a castle's wall less than human. We fought for this kingdom at the peril of our very lives, yet the moment the war was ended, you turned us out into the streets. What do you think makes you so special? Birth? Blood? What difference does it make?
You kidnapped men for ransom, then dare ask the difference between us?
No. The Marquis' kidnapping was no plan of Wygraf's. He would never hold a man for ransom.
Then who? Someone kidnapped the Marquis Elmador Limberry.
Speak! If not you, then on whom would you pin the deed?
It was Gustav.
Who is Gustav?
Gustav McGriff, Lieutenant Commander of the Deadmen.
So the Corpse Brigade was behind the kidnapping?
No, we're not like Gustav. We fight to end the aristocracy, not become it, to be treated as equals, as the men of honor we are. Ugh!
What do maggots know of honor?
That's enough, Argath.
So where is this Gustav?
The cadets end up finding the location of the Marquis. They march on the location without orders to, and end up finding the Corpse Brigade hideout. A fight breaks out, but the cadets push through, defeating the forces outside the hideout. Once the battle subsides, the cadets head into the hideout to find the brigade leader Wiegraf, Gustav, and most importantly, the kidnapped Marquis.
You've taken leave of your senses, Gustav.
Have I? What hope does your fool revolution hold? Dreams do not fill a man's stomach, or make soft the packed earth upon which he beds.
You see not beyond the end of your nose. The crown strays, Gustav, and must be led back onto the path.
And you think yourself the man to do this? More the fool, you Wiegraf.
You've spoken your fill? Then we are done.
Wiegraf!
The Marquis!
No further!
How dare you threaten me?
Stay yourself, Arga!
The Marquis is unharmed. You are free to return him to Igros.
Why release him?
The Marquis' abduction was ill done. Such craven methods serve not our ends. Let me walk free, and I will release the Marquis to your care. A fair bargain.
You mock us! You are in no position to bargain.
Enough, Argath! He speaks the truth! Let him go, Argath!
Why do you stay me?
The Corpse Brigade is finished in any case. There is naught to be gained by a quarrel here.
The Marquis is well. He is weak, but he would seem unharmed.
We must see him back to Igros. The cadets bring the Marquis back to Castle Igros. Dystarg, while initially frustrated that the cadets didn't follow orders to stay at the castle, commends them for rescuing the Marquis. As a reward, Dystarg gives the cadets a mission of clearing out one of the last sites where the Corpse Brigade resides. The cadets make their way to the brigand's hideout. There, they meet Meludia Follies, sister of the leader of the Corpse Brigade, Wiegraf Follies. A fight breaks out. While the fight at the brigand's den is taking place, a group of Corpse Brigade members raid the weakly defended Castle Igros. Looking for prisoners, they attempt to kidnap Ramza's younger sister Alma, but her brother Zalbag intercepts. They instead grab Tietra, thinking she's a noble, and kidnap her. Back at the brigand's den, the cadets claim victory and converse with an injured Meludia.
I'm no more than chattel to you, am I? So have my head and be done with it.
Do you truly hold us to be so foul?
Do it, Ramza! She fights as a corpse. Let her become one for true. She's a foe and a traitor, an enemy of House Beolv. The world has no place for such wretches. Her claim to life is forfeit. Spare her now, and you place your seal on the warrants for your own deaths. It's her or us, Ramza. Strike her down.
Ramza, try as I might, but I cannot think of this woman as our enemy.
Have you lost your wits?
This woman is no more chattel than you or I, Argath.
You would turn against our cause, Delita? I ought to have expected as much.
Huh.
You deny me even the mercy of an honorable death. A pox on you and your pity. So as long as you bear the name Beolv, you will ever remain an enemy to me. You do well to remember that.
Delita, what have we done?
A pox on your pity indeed.
The cadets spare Meludia, much to Argath's dismay, and they proceed to head back to Igros to report the successful mission. When they arrive, they discover it ransacked, and Tietra missing. Ramza and Delita confront the eldest Beolv brother, Dystarg. He tells them that Zalbag has prepared the order of the Northern Sky Army to launch an all-out assault on the Zeichten Fortress, the last stronghold of the Corpse Brigade. He tells Delita that the army will bring Tietra back safely. Upon him saying this, Argath butts in and berates Dystarg for withholding a crucial attack because of a commoner. This rightfully enrages Delita, as his sister is the one captured, and he runs outside. Ramza follows him.
Think matters through, Delita. Where would you even go? You must calm yourself.
Calm myself? My only sister is taking my cutthroats, and you would have me calm?
I would have you obey reason. We know where not to begin. To search now would be fruitless.
Oh, fruitless? You speak of my sister's life.
You heard my lord brother. He said you would not abandon her, but there's little we can do, Delita. I cannot breathe.
Forgive me, Ramza. Are you alright?
I'll be fine.
I'd not believe a word of that fairy tale if I were you.
You call my brother a liar?
I do. I would not go out of my way to rescue some common maid.
What did you just say?
I said he would be a fool to hold back an army for fear of spilling a few drops of your common blood.
As I thought.
Stop this, Delita.
Release me! Damn you, Ramza! Release me!
It's just as I've always said. Common blood, common man. You'll never be more than you were born, Delita. You don't belong in our world. You ought to be licking our boots with the rest of your ilk, churl.
That does it!
Enough, Delita. And you as well, Argath.
Open your eyes, Ramza. Delita is not the one of us. It isn't proper that you should mix with such as he. Surely you see that.
Delita is my friend and a dear one. You've been as brothers all our lives.
And that blinds you from the truth. You're a man grown, Ramza. It's time you left playthings of your boyhood behind. You are a son of House Beolv, a birth high even among the highborn. Such company ill suits you. Your brothers see this, I am sure, even if you choose not to.
Not everyone of high birth is as ill-bred as you. I'll trust to Ramza's judgment.
Be gone from my sight, and do not think to return.
Your words cut deep, Ramza. Are we not friends?
Remove yourself. I will not ask again.
The brigade makes its base at Zeichten. Your lord brother told me himself. You've had no hope of breaching the fortress from the fore. The defenses are too strong. A rear assault is your only choice. Best of luck, my soft-hearted Ramza. He'll need it.
Be gone!
Delita and Ramza leave Egros with the intent to infiltrate Zeichten Fortress from the behind. On their journey, they run into Meludia again. Not wanting anything but to rescue Tietra, Ramza and Delita desperately try to de-escalate the fight, but Meludia doesn't listen. The cadets are forced to kill her. After they kill Meludia, Delita looks at his bloodied sword and utters, "What am I doing? What have I become?" The cadets proceed to make their way towards Zeichten. They run into Wiegraf, a Corpse Brigade lieutenant named Gragaroth, and the kidnapped Tietra. Wiegraf, the righteous leader of the Corpse Brigade, belittles Gragaroth for resorting to kidnapping, and intends to return Tietra to the cadets. Just then, a Corpse Brigade spy runs to Wiegraf and informs him that Ramza and Delita killed his sister, Meludia. In a fit of rage, Wiegraf attacks Delita and Ramza. The two cadets manage to wound him, but Wiegraf starts to run away. Just as he's about to escape, he informs the cadets of a grim truth. He tells Ramza and Delita that Ramza's eldest brother Dystarg was the one that paid off Gustav and ordered the kidnapping of the Marquis, and that foul things are afoot in the land of Ivalice. Wiegraf runs away, and the cadets make their way into the structure where Tietra was being held, only to find that her and Gragaroth are gone. Delita becomes distraught, as he soon realizes his sister was likely taken to Zeichten Fortress, the last holdout of the Corpse Brigade. Delita and Ramza make their way to Zeichten Fortress. They battle their way through the back, slaughtering multiple Corpse Brigade rogues and brigands. They approach the keep, the last holdout of the Corpse Brigade. There, they find Argath, Zalbeg, and the Northern Sky Knights, also having fought their way to the keep.
Back whence you came, quick as the shadows, or this one's blood makes crimson so. Do not think to try my patience. This keep packs such a store of powder as you could scarce imagine. More than enough to deliver the lot of you to the Father's keeping, should your feet lack proper haste.
The order of the northern sky yields not before the braying of rogues.
Lord brother, Argath.
Tietra!
Delita!
Withdraw at once, I will not warn you again.
This changes nothing, Argath. Loose your attack.
Yes, my lord.
Delita, I'm sorry.
Tietra!
Lord Commander, more enemies scale the pass. 2 score, maybe 3. A man of Wegriff's look moves among them.
Very well. We go to greet them at once. I'll leave the rest to you, Argath.
Tietra!
And where do you presume to go, Delita?
You whoreson dog!
It is to be a fight, then? I'm only too happy to oblige.
Zelbeg, Testarg, how could you?
Come, I will show you that common blood makes naught but a common man.
Why did you do it, Argath? What moved your hand?
Your lord brother's orders, Ramza. What else? Would you have had us kneel before them and offer up the order's honor in exchange for the life of some common wench?
She was Delita's sister.
Is it not time you awoken to the fact that we are different from them? They are lesser of birth, and so meant to play lesser roles in life. Such is the nature of fate, Ramza. That commoner and his sister ought have never been here at all. Had they have been mongering flowers on some street corner, she would yet live.
Make your peace with the gods, Argath. You die by my hand.
No. Not at the hands of milksop rabble.
Delita runs over to Tietra's body. He holds her up, sobbing. Crackling and fire can then be heard from inside the keep. Ramza realizes that the keep is about to explode and runs screaming for Delita to follow him. Delita doesn't listen. Ramza runs off, and the keep explodes. Delita uses Tietra's body to shield himself, but he is greatly injured. Delita makes his way to Lionel. Being a peasant that's killed a noble, he knows he can't go to any of the dukes for assistance, so he travels to Lionel Castle, home of Cardinal Delacroix. The church takes him in and trains him as a holy knight. As Delita learns the powerful sword arts the holy knights have mastered, his hatred and greed grows. Feeling manipulated by Dystarg and the other nobles, he vows never to be manipulated again, and soon begins to only pretend he is faithful to the church. As Delita grows in the church's ranks, he begins to hear of a sinister plan held by Cardinal Delacroix. The king of Ivlis has died, and there exist 2 possible heirs to the throne, Princess Ovilia and Prince Orinus. Duke Larg of the Northern Sky, brother of the queen, wants Prince Orinus to be crowned king so Larg can become regent. Duke Gultana of the Southern Sky wants Princess Ovilia to be crowned so he can become regent. The Cardinal sees this potential conflict as an opportunity for the Church to seize power and hopes to stir the 2 sides into combat to weaken both of them. The Cardinal finds out Princess Ovilia is being held at Orbion Monastery in Gallion and orders the Church's knights to dress themselves in the uniform of the Knights of the Southern Sky and kidnap the princess. Delita sees this as an opportunity to get involved, so he suits up and marches on Orbion Monastery with the Church's knights. The Church's knights arrive at the castle, dressed as Southern Sky Knights, only to find the princess has bodyguards. The princess's bodyguard, Agrius, and 3 mercenaries manage to keep the fake Southern Sky Knights at bay. Delita then realizes that one of the mercenaries is Ramza, and decides not to enter the front line. He instead slips around the back and finds the princess in the chapel. Delita kidnaps the princess, only to be seen by RAMZA as he gets away. RAMZA, his boss and fellow mercenary Gafgarian, and the princess's guard, Avarice, pursue him. Delita makes it a considerable distance without being caught until he arrives at Zyrtrail Falls. While crossing the long bridge over the falls, Knights of the Northern Sky swarm both sides of the bridge. Knowing the Duke Larg and the Northern Sky want the princess dead so Larg can become regent, Delita draws his sword ready to defend the princess with his life. Avarice, RAMZA, and Gafgarian show up, and the legendary Battle of the Bridge begins.
Sir, you are defeated. Surrender the princess and no more blood must needs be spilt.
Do you so enjoy the taste of lies? Your orders are to see the princess dead, and once I've watched you feed the falls her blood, I'm to believe you'd let me live, a witness to your crime.
What foolishness is this? We came to save the princess, not to kill her. What could we possibly gain by Lady Ovalia's death? We wish only to see her freed from the Black Lion's claws.
Your Highness!
Avarice!
It seems we're no longer alone. Gafgarian, kill them all.
A change of plans. But a contract is a contract after all.
You would now betray us?
Betray you? You have a viper's tongue, milady. I betray no one. I am in the Order's employ, and they are of it. My task was to see the princess safely abducted, and theirs to see the one responsible silenced.
You mean to say that this kidnapping was a ruse?
The princess is an obstacle to the throne. So long as she lives, the threat remains that someone could assert her claim above Prince Orinus's. 2 hairs are one too many.
If her death is certain, then let it at least not be in vain. Kill her if you must, but let it be told that she was taken by Goltana's men. Do that, and the stroke that fells a problem princess at once brings down a rival lion. That was no doubt Larg's plan all along. Or was it his? Such a plot has more of the feel of Dystar's thinking. Would you not agree, RAMZA?
That one has the right of it. RAMZA, come on, let's earn our pay.
No, not again. I will not watch as sacrifices are made of the weak and innocent. She will not be another Tietra.
RAMZA, Delita, and Avarice successfully defend the princess and stave off Gafgarian and the Northern Sky Knights. Delita realizes that sending the princess to the church will cause an uproar among the dukes. Upon realizing this, he manipulates RAMZA into taking the princess back to the church using clever wordplay.
Let the princess be with me. She will be safer in my care.
What is this game you play with us, Delita?
A game? Game? I do no more than speak the truth. You've made an enemy of the entire Order of the Northern Sky. Where would you now take her? Think, RAMZA. This was Duke Larg's plan, and he would not act without counsel of the Queen. You cannot trust the crown. Would you then turn to Goltana? No, that would be folly. He would only offer up your heads in hopes of keeping his own.
And what, sir, would you propose to do?
I would do only that which you, my lady, cannot.
You speak in nothings.
So I do, but pay it no mind. I shall leave her with you for yet a while longer.
Delita, I did not think we would meet again, but I am glad we have.
It was Tietra. She watched over me then, as she does now.
Know that you go with my thanks, Sir Delita.
Ramza, I hope this meeting is not our last.
I owe you my thanks as well. But he's right. The northern sky will not be long in falling on us now.
This is the path I've chosen. But what now? Delita spoke true. We've no allies to whom we can turn.
We could entreat Cardinal Delacroix for aid. The Church of Glabados rules in Lionel. Surely they would not refuse us.
We'd be beyond reach of the Northern Order there as well. Very well. We make for Lionel.
Delita splits ways with the princess, Ramza and Ovelia. He partakes in some minor tasks for the cardinal and ends up learning of the church's master plan. The church has tasked its Knights Templars, the highest order of knights within the church, of recovering all the zodiac stones, stones that hold incredible power. The church then plans to use the conflict for the throne between the northern and southern sky as a power vacuum in combination with the zodiac stones to take control of all of Ivalice. In the meantime, Ramza in his travels had encountered a man named Mustadio. Mustadio, holding one of the zodiac stones, travels with him to the church for aid in finding his father. When they arrive at Lionel Castle, the cardinal realizes the power in holding both the princess and the zodiac stone that is in Mustadio's possession. So he offers for Agrius and the princess to stay, and sends Mustadio and Ramza on a mission that will likely result in their deaths. Ramza and Mustadio complete the mission, but realize it was a death trap set by the church to get Mustadio's stone. Delita realizes Ramza might try to come back for the princess at the church, so he intercepts him during his travels, fearing for his safety. Delita warns Ramza of the dangers of the church, telling Ramza to stay out of the church's way if he wishes to live, but the righteous Ramza proceeds to the church against his best friend's warning. Upon hearing about the failed trap, the cardinal prepares to kill Ramza himself. At the castle, the cardinal, Delita, and the leader of the Knights Templar, Fulmarv, interrogate the princess.
Hey, you've not touched your supper. A princess cannot live on pride alone. You think to starve yourself? None would weep, you know. There are many who would be gladdened by your passing. Stop being stubborn and eat.
You were in a league with the Cardinal all along, weren't you? What do you mean to do with me? If you'd not get me over to Larg, then what is your intent?
To put you where you truly ought to be.
So, you would manipulate me as well then? I'll not do it, you know. I'll not bend to your whims.
You will. If you wish to survive, you have no other choice.
What do you mean?
I mean...
So, this is Lady Ovelia.
Do your spirits find you well, your highness? If you would be but a tad more tame, there would be no reason to keep you in so cheerless a place as this.
These seem lavish enough quarters for a false princess.
Ho ho ho! The girl does not yet know, Lord Fulmarv.
Truly, how pitiable.
Tell me of what you speak.
Very well. You are not Ovelia Adakashka.
What?
It is neither absurd nor untrue. You are not Ovelia. You are a straw doll placed in an empty crib by council members who bear no love for the queen. It was their intent that she would someday succeed the throne and relieve Queen Louveria of her power. They placed you in the royal family after assassinating the queen's two eldest sons, attributing their deaths to malady. The deception was complete, and your ascent was all but sealed. King Andoria was sickly and seemed unlike to father another son. But, against all odds, another prince was born. Whether he's in truth of Andoria's seed is highly suspect, of course. Like as not, Duke Larg found some other sire to ensure his sister's place, his mother, to the king. Regardless, all of the council's work was made for naught the moment Prince Orinus drew his first breath.
You speak false. I'll not believe you.
Believe what you would like, child. It is of little enough consequence. You may be born a butcher's daughter for all it concerns, but we hold a trump card in our hands. The stock from which it was cut matters not.
What is it you wish of me, then? What would you have me do?
Not at all, sweet child. We only wish that you be our princess, as you always have.
I am a daughter of House Adkashka. I'll take no orders from you.
Oh? Then what will you do? Let yourself fall into Duke Larg's hands? You'll sooner have a noose in place of a crown. We only wish to help you claim the throne that is yours by right.
Who are you?
We are no friends of Duke Larg, nor do we sit in Galtana's camp. Think of us simply as allies.
Lord Falmouth, let us leave our princess to collect her thoughts. When she comes to see the reality of her situation, she will doubtless wish to be our ally as well.
Indeed. Let us give her time to stew.
Realizing a bloodbath is about to take place when Ramza and Agrius arrive at the castle, Delita decides to take the princess and run, leaving behind Lionel Castle and the church. Ramza and Agrius arrive at Lionel Castle, only to find the princess gone and the cardinal corrupted by a different zodiac stone. The stone shows its true power, and the cardinal's body slowly transforms into the demon that it was hidden in the stone. The cardinal, before attempting to kill Ramza, tells him the church's real plot: to use the conflict of the dukes to collect the 12 zodiac stones and resurrect Ultima, the leader of the demons. Ramza vows to stop this plan and ends up killing the cardinal and collecting his stone. Delita, on the run, hatches a new plan. He intends to take the princess to Duke Ultana and the Order of the Southern Sky. He hopes he can use the princess and leverage himself some power. As they travel, they are ambushed by a group of Northern Sky Knights.
Come on, princess. Your pace has slowed. Are you weary? We'll never make it to Zeltenia at this rate.
Arriving sooner will no more make me a princess than arriving later. That day you saved me at these falls seems so distant now. Your promise to cut me free from the strings of those who manipulate me. It was an empty one, wasn't it?
Empty or no, you've no choice but to follow me. The hounds are loosed. No bolt holes left to you. Run, and you'll still be hunted down as the princess who stands in the way of the throne.
Why must you say such things? Ah!
I had not thought to find the lady princess here. That thrice-be-damned Gafgarian must have failed yet again. The man is naught but boasts and swagger. Our orders are to kill on sight. The princess does not leave this place.
Fools! If it is your wish to die here, then so be it! Delita kills all the Northern Sky Knights except one. He takes him as prisoner. Was that enough to lift the gauze from your eyes, princess? Bathe the earth in bitter tears, and it will be all too content to drink your blood. Bemoan your fate and wait for it to claim you, or take my hand and live. The choice is yours.
It appears I have no choice.
As he and the princess continue their travels to Zeltenia, he converses a lot with her. He's extremely charismatic with her and makes it seem as though he is in love with her. Ovelia falls for this and starts to develop feelings for Delita. During their travels, Delita hears of the fall of a group of knights led by Baron Grimms called the Blackrim Knights. They were wiped out fighting revolting peasants. A dire plan starts to take over Delita's mind. Delita arrives at Zeltenia Castle, home of Duke Goltana and the Southern Sky Knights. He pretends to be one of the Black Rem Knights, and framed Duke Goltana's right-hand man, Chancellor Glavain, for attempting to frame the Southern Sky Knights for kidnapping the princess at Orbian Monastery, despite it actually being the church's knights. My advisors tell me you are the one who rescued Princess Ophelia. I would have you tell me more.
I am Delita Heiral, a Black Ram lieutenant in service to His Excellency the Baron Grims. His Excellency dispatched me to rescue the princess, and so I did, disguised as one of your own, a sheep in lion's clothing. Now I have returned.
Heiral, you say? That is a name I've not heard before.
I thought Baron Grims and his Black Rams felled in battle against the Eye of a fortnight past.
Indeed, that dark news spurred me to return with all great haste.
How's the princess?
She is weary yet from her long journey. She sleeps as if among the dead.
Is it not true you brought a prisoner?
It is. Bring the prisoner forth. Let us hear the reason for your attempt on the princess.
'Twas to stain the Duke Goltana's name, and keep him from Lasalia. We thought to deny him from the regent's seat.
Who gave you that order? Duke Larg?
No. A close advisor of Duke Goltana seeking to curry Duke Larg's favor.
Madness! None among us would fain betray our Duke. Silence this man, he knows not of what he speaks.
I would hear it nonetheless.
Who was it? Name the one who gave you the order.
I'd have our protection.
On my honor, as a knight. Speak.
'Twas the man who stands before me, Chancellor Glavain.
What? How dare you? I do not even know you, knave.
Who put you to it? The Queen?
Stop this murmurous farce. I've naught to do with this.
To betray your liege lord is an unpardonable crime, Chancellor.
It was not I. I have naught of it.
Forgive me, if I presume overmuch, your grace, but now is not the time for bandied words. The Order of the Southern Sky must march on Lasalia at once, and you with it. Give your enemies but a moment to collect themselves, and they will pin the Chancellor's sedation on his lord. Your grace must strike before they are given the chance. Deny the prince's claim, and set the princess on the throne.
Goltana, believing Delita's story, sends the Knights of the Southern Sky to Lasalia and banishes the Queen for her malpractice and attempted framing of him. The Queen moves to the town of Besselet. Goltana then crowns Ophelia Queen of Ivalis. In response, Duke Larg crowns Orinus the King of Ivalis. With Larg symbolizing the White Lion and Goltana symbolizing the Black Lion, the legendary War of the Lions commences, Ivalis' biggest civil war to date, and all because of the malpractice of the Church and the scheming of Delita. Duke Larg and the Knights of the Northern Sky march on Besselet to save the Queen in King Orinus' name. Goltana and the Knights of the Southern Sky march on Besselet as well in Queen Ophelia's name. In the meantime, RAMZA is named a heretic by the Church for his role in killing the Cardinal. RAMZA, with nowhere to turn to, decides he best start collecting the Zodiac Stones himself so the Church can't follow through with their plan. Delita is based at Zeltenia Castle. He was given the role of caretaker of Ophelia, the newly crowned queen. He confronts her in the castle courtyard.
So here you are. They've been searching for high and low for you. I do hope this day finds your royal highness in better spirits than those past.
Do not mock me. Please, I could not bear it.
That was cruel of me. I'm sorry.
What do you mean to do with me? I'm not Ovelia. There can be no value in holding me. No value even in my living.
You're right. You are not the Princess Ovelia. We do not even know your rightful name. Whether even you be highborn or low.
I had often wondered, of the royal family, why must I alone be confined to a remote monastery so far removed from the seat of our crown? Even this I thought a burden light enough, if it meant the kingdom would know peace. I played my part, yet still Ivalice runs red with blood. All this suffering and solitude, for what?
It's been the same for me. I was given the wardrobe of a noble, and so I played the part. A puppet, ever dancing for amusement of its patrons, unseen. This wretched world does not reward endeavor. It is the patron and his troop who are the receipt. Maggots grown fat on endeavor's course. Most men but play the part they are given. Most live and die not knowing they played a part at all. But I am past all that now. I am their unwitting puppet no more. No more. I will exact from them the price of their gluttonous feast.
And just what is it you plan to do with them?
I will burn down this kingdom, and from its ashes build for you a new one, a kingdom worthy of you. I will show you a world where your light will outshine the sun, a world that will know no darkness. And you will have no more need of tears.
Such a world. Is it possible?
I will not fail you in this. On Tietra's soul, I swear to you.
While Delita guards the princess, RAMZA'S quest goes underway. Disgraced by his brothers as a heretic, he travels alone and manages to find another one of the Zodiac Stones at Orbian Monastery. In the process, his younger sister Alma gets kidnapped by the Knights Templar. He chases them throughout Ivalice, slaying Knight Templar after Knight Templar. RAMZA begins to realize that he is going to need help in stopping the Church's plan. He intends on enlisting Lord Orlandu of the Southern Sky. He embarks to Zeltenia to do two things. 1. Enlist the help of the legendary swordsman Orlandu, and 2. Find out what Delita plans to do. Delita continues to guard the princess, and their bond grows stronger.
Tietra. You know that trick too? Making a whistle of a blade of grass?
A friend taught me when I was living at the monastery. I can never seem to make it work, though.
Okay, well, here. Like this.
I did it! What's that?
Oh, this?
A pendant?
I keep it as a remembrance of my sister, Kietra. She was caught up in this fighting and died.
I'm sorry.
She died for the nobility's convenience. They used her and cast her away, and for that I cannot forgive them. I shall not let them deal to you the same fate that they dealt to her. I will protect you from aught and all who would use you. Okay?
Delita, thank you.
Delita finds out Ramza is in Zeltenia, so he moves to talk with him. They talk at length. Delita informs Ramza of the High Confessor's plan. The High Confessor's plan all along was to pit the two lions, Duke Larg and Duke Latana, against one another. The plan is finally coming to fruition. During their conversation, the High Confessor himself of the Church of Zalmor comes for Ramza's throat as a heretic. Zalmor sees Delita talking with Ramza. Because Delita is acting as a pawn of the church, he can't be seen with Ramza the heretic, so the two brothers are forced to kill the confessor in combat. Ramza talks with Delita and asks him for the help of Orlandu with stopping the church's plot with the Zodiac Stones.
Where will you go now, Ramza?
2 errands brought me to Zeltenia. The first was to meet with you. The second is to speak with Count Orlandu.
The Thunder God?
I mean to enlist his aid in exposing the church's intrigues.
How?
I have powerful evidence of the church's misdeeds.
You have the scripts of Germany?
I spoke with the Count's adopted son, Oren, not long past. He pledged his aid should I bring hard evidence against the church.
Huh, Oren, eh? It's alright. She's with me. Molund has provided several others to help me carry out my task. She's but one of them.
Help you? I was sent to keep watch on you.
And a fine job you're doing of it. Only she knows our plans in full. I trust no other in Gotana's army more.
You're the youngest BO of Ramza, am I right? My name is Valmafra.
I take it that you did not come here for idle chat?
The Northern Order moves.
They make for Besselit?
Count Orlandu himself has departed for the same, only just now. Duke Gotana is like to join them soon. At the head of your Black Ram Knights, no less.
Then we're too late. The fighting will continue.
Do not give up yet. I might still convince the Count to avoid this needless bloodshed.
Then our paths part once again.
Be safe, Delita.
And you, Ramza.
You mean to let him go?
He acts as I would expected he would.
Even your friends are only pieces to be played.
Mind your words. You know not what you say.
Such outbursts, ill become a man.
Haven't you somewhere else to be?
All forces move to Besselit. Duke Larg, Dicedarg, and Zalbag move with the northern sky. Gotana, Orlandu, and Delita move with the southern sky. Ramza also embarks to Besselit in hopes of enlisting Orlandu's help in ending the church's cataclysmic plot. The church also moves on Besselit, with far more sinister plans than both sides anticipate. The first of the church's plans starts with the Knights of the Northern Sky. They spread a deadly poison all across the Northern Sky encampment. Many of the knights fall ill, including the Duke himself, Dicedarg, and Zalbag. Dicedarg seizes the opportunity of weakness in Duke Larg and kills him. Zalbag is stunned in disbelief. When Duke Larg's final breaths, he attempts to tell Zalbag that Dicedarg murdered their father, Barbaneth. Dicedarg tells his brother that the Duke is lying, but mistrust starts to brew in Zalbag. On the side of the Knights of the Southern Sky, a messenger from the church gives a message to Duke Gotana. The message says that Orlandu, Duke Gotana's general, plans to backstab him when the Battle of Besselit undergoes. Duke Gotana, enraged at this, falsely imprisons Orlando, and promotes Delita to the general of the Southern Sky Knights. With this, both sides proceed to march on the center of the city. RAMZA frantically looks for a way to stop the near-inevitable bloodshed. He realizes that Besselit has a large sluice that protects the main city from flooding. He battles his way through Southern Sky Knights to the sluice and opens it, flooding the city and preventing both sides from fighting one another. After opening the sluice, RAMZA utilizes the confusion and moves to free Orlando. He is successful, and Orlando is convinced to help him end the demonic church's plot. They move to rescue Alma and put an end to the demonic Zodiac Stones once and for all. Duke Goltana, enraged that the city has been flooded, calls for Delita so he can order his men to progress anyway.
How has the sluice been opened? I suffer a plague of fools.
You called for me, Excellency?
You are to gather a company of soldiers and move against the northern sky at once.
Sir, the water from the sluice makes movement difficult enough, let alone fighting.
What's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. This is an opportunity we cannot let pass. They will not be expecting an attack. If they slip away now, who can say how long this war may drag on?
I must refuse.
Refuse? How dare you?
No man would wish to see you king.
Delita employs a decoy Orlando and kills him. He tells the Knights of the Southern Sky that Orlando charged the Duke and killed him, and that Delita failed to arrive in time to save him. Meanwhile, Zalbeg visits his father's grave. He notices that poisonous moss fungus mushroom grows on top of it, confirming that his eldest brother did in fact murder their father. Message gets to RAMZA about this, and he travels to meet with Zalbeg. Both of them confront Dystarg. Dystarg admits to killing their father, but swears he did it to progress the Beowulf name. Zalbeg, enraged to hear this, kills his older brother, only to find that Dystarg was also in possession of a Zodiac Stone. The Zodiac Stone turns Dystarg's body into a demon, and the demon kills Zalbeg. RAMZA slays the demon, killing his brother Dystarg once and for all. With Duke Larg, Dystarg, and Zalbeg dead, the Knights of the Northern Sky are no more. RAMZA moves to rescue his sister Alma from the last remaining Knights Templar, with Orlando. RAMZA finds his sister and the last remaining Knight Templar, Fulmarv. Fulmarv kills himself, offering himself to the Demon Queen Ultima. Ultima takes over Alma's body as host and fights RAMZA and Orlando for the Zodiac Stones. A legendary fight takes place. RAMZA and Orlando end up killing the Demon Queen Ultima. In a final act of evil, Ultima self-destructs. The blast kills Alma, RAMZA, and Orlando, putting an end to the Beowulf lineage as well as the evil church's plot. Delita returns to Zeltenia. He marvels at the state of Ivalice. His plan was complete. The Knights of the Northern Sky were defeated. The church was in ruin. All the higher-up clergymen had been murdered. The Knights Templars had all been killed by RAMZA. The Knights of the Southern Sky were also brutalized. Duke Goltana and Orlando had been murdered. All the noblemen Delita feigned allegiance to were dead. There wasn't a side in Ivalice that he hadn't double-crossed. He returns to the castle Zeltenia courtyard, where he finds Queen Ovilia, and he proposes to her. Delita Heiral, born of common blood, is crowned King of Ivalice. He goes to Ovilia on her birthday, in the same place they grew to love each other. I thought I might find you here. Everyone's been looking for you. Today's your birthday, is it not? I brought you...
How could you? You used them and all the others, and someday you'll cast me aside, just as you did him.
Delita falls and realizes he has nothing left. All the people he used as pawns to progress himself to a place of power. Even his brother, RAMZA, the only man that likely ever loved him, he used like a pawn to deal with the church's plot. A king with everything he ever wanted, all the power that Iblis could muster, dies laying in a courtyard of his castle. With nothing.